Hello everyone, it's your girl Zama.
And your girl Shorné.
And welcome to another episode of Life Behind the Scenes at The Witness.
So Zama, last week it was quite a packed edition. I spoke to our assistant editor and one of our colleagues, Ketu. We learnt about, how she goes about reporting from court. You also spoke to Akil.
Yeah, our online journalist.
Guy. Yeah, he's just known for just
being online, basically. But this week we'll be speaking about our operations manager and also our print manager, and basically find out how our paper is made, how it gets printed, and how it gets to your fingertips. From graphic designer to operations manager, help me welcome Cheryl Moig. How are you, Cheryl?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
So, basically, briefly, can you just give us a brief description of who Cheryl Moig is?
Well, obviously, you said I am the operations manager, so I am in charge of various departments in the company. So I started as a graphic designer, as you said, and then moved to production manager and then on to operations manager. So going from one department, I now manage about 4 or 5, including sales and circulation, marketing, and IT, as well as my production guys, so all my graphic designers. So I've got a very busy, deadline-driven job.
So from graphic designer, how did you get to being an operations manager?
I think it was a lot of growing with the company. I am a very big planner, so it really is something I grew into. I like to learn a lot of things as I go with the job. I like to know how everything works and how everything operates, and if something breaks, I like to be able to fix it. So I think just bringing that into my role as a graphic designer, I obviously then just the next progression was to move to production manager. And then I was in that role for about 3 or 4 years, and then on to operations manager. So yeah, it is very handy to know a little bit about every department, and I'm very passionate about our products and where I work. So it does help a lot when you're coming to work and you are passionate about what you're doing.
So tell us, how do you handle like the day-to-day operations of the newsroom and being in graphic designers, like the deadlines and all of that? How do you handle all of that?
It's a lot of planning. So I thrive with spreadsheets and things like that. So yeah, it's just a lot of chasing people, a lot of I've likened it to driving a car. So if you're driving your car to get to a destination and a wheel falls off, then you're not going to get there. So, everyone in the whole company needs to be working towards that one goal. So it's just getting everyone to align, and it's a lot of communication as well, I think. If people talk and they know what everyone else is doing, then it makes it easier for everybody. So it's just that connection between each department, which I find myself straddling between all the different departments often, that I think helps the company and helps us to get where we want to be.
So apart from your work, what else do you do?
I love running. As I've said in the past, I will bore you to death if I'm at dinner with you, talking about my last race, my next race, how I'm running, my injuries. I also, running comes with a lot of injuries. I have 2 children. I've got 2 teenage girls who keep me busy, but I love them dearly. I spend a lot of time with them after hours. So I do have a very busy schedule apart from work, but I think it comes with being a working mom these days. So, yeah.
Can you tell us about a day that you remember, like that was like the most hectic day in like your entire career, basically?
Yeah, I definitely can. So Black Friday, I think it was about 5 years ago. It was the first Black Friday I worked. I was head of production. I didn't foresee what was coming. It is one of the busiest days at the office. The first Black Friday, the Black Friday paper comes out on a Thursday. I think the Wednesday night I started working with my team, and we finished at about 2:00 in the morning. I did put a fair amount of planning into it, but obviously not enough. So I did you learn a lot as you go along. But honestly, nearly had a nervous breakdown that day. It was so hectic and there were so many things coming at us, but you just learn to juggle and learn to delegate and manage. And we got through it. So, Black Friday now we start planning over a month in advance so that we can negate that.
So it's gotten better basically over the years.
It has. And you learn and you evolve with the role. So yeah, it's helped to it helps to plan ahead.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us today is Chris Naidu. He is our printing manager at Guardian Web. Guardian Web prints our weekly papers, which is Maritzburg Sun and Public Eye. Lovely to have you with us today, Chris.
No, it's a pleasure to be here.
And, I'm sure it's very exciting to have the paper out. Can you tell us what it's like being a press manager?
Well, at times it becomes hectic. Obviously, there's a lot of planning involved, a lot of people that work hard, and their work basically comes out in the paper. And we have to plan, coordinate everything with different departments, and that's what a press manager does. He has to basically coordinate and make sure that everything runs efficiently, and the most important thing is our print quality is excellent.
And what is a day like, a printing day like for you, from, ensuring that what is being printed, knowing that your staff is prepared?
Well, lucky for us, we've been doing this for some time now. So, everyone, including my staff, they are very limited. So they know they have to be at work. And at times we have issues where people don't turn up, but we have sufficient staff to actually carry out this. And the most important thing in terms of production for a day is planning and working with other departments, ensuring that, we do everything within time, because in printing, time is very important. And if we basically fall back and we lose out on time, then we are in difficulty, in fact, of getting our papers out on time.
With printing on time, it's obviously, printing back then and printing now has improved greatly over the years, and in terms of technology. And how has that improvement helped, as opposed to
Well, I understand where you're coming from in terms of that. Well, in history, you'll tell you, what, it's the oldest way of communicating. Print. People used to write on the walls, right? Initially, when printing first started, it was a long procedure. Basically, they have to set up letters, and it used to take them days and weeks sometimes just for them to do a page, just for them to say or advertise what they want to advertise. Now these days things are done quick. You get digital printing, you get 3D printing, which is crazy. And people print on T-shirts. So basically, these days, the way I look at it, they can print on anything.
the possibilities are endless with printing. And when it comes to printing quality, how important is that? And do you literally take a paper and go through it to ensure that everything is perfect?
Well, yes. You know what? That's what our business is. You're printing. People want quality. They want what they paid for. And yes, when we print, we normally look at issues as soon as we start printing. Go through the paper, see what problems we have, what we can solve, what we can't solve. And sometimes, you just have to just remake another printing plate, and it works out. Sometimes you have to do adjustments on the machine to make things look better. And that's what happens. Our quality is very, very essential to our trade.
Now, when you say printing plate, what role does it play in printing?
When people talk about plates, they think straight away of food plate, you know what I mean? But printing plate is basically a substrate that we use to actually make, or what can I say? It actually carries the pages that we're going to print on. So each plate has to be made 4 times, believe it or not, right? Because of each color. There's 4 different colors. You get yellow, magenta, cyan, black. So if you're printing on the plate, you have to make 4 different color plates just to print 4 pages. In our case, it's 4 pages. So we have to basically make sure that all the plates are aligned perfectly to get perfect printing or quality.
So for 1 page, it's 4 plates. Is that correct?
Actually, we print, it's actually, okay, let me just put it to you this way. On an 8-pager, we use 8 plates. right? Now, the reason for using 8 plates is now what we do is basically called perfecting printing, which means that we print both sides of the paper at the same time, right? So on either side, you got four different colors, so that's 8 plates. And what we basically do, I know, it's crazy. You know what? When you're seeing it being done, it's absolutely astounding that I mean the how it happens. I mean that's how technology has brought us to where things can just be printed both sides of the paper, whereas years ago it'll have to take you probably weeks just to prepare maybe 4 pages or even a page. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Can you tell us something fascinating about printing? And
Fascinating about printing. Okay, let me put it to you this way. Printing is one of the oldest form of communication in history. If you look down through the ages, I think it's in Egypt. They used inks. They used from
Dye.
clays and things like that, berries, just to get a certain ink. And they used to use like paper. Well, paper that time, I think it was the reed papyrus, just to make this to dry it out. And they used to use that to basically to write on, right? So you know what? That up till today, you're still using some substrate to communicate with people, and that tells you that there is the basis of printing, is using a substrate to communicate, whether you want someone whatever information or even pictures. So it's really astounding that the fact that we've gone so many years and we're still using a substrate to communicate.
well, I'm sure they would be very proud of what they started, and now look at where we are.
Yeah,
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Chris.
no problem, no problem.
Joining me today is my colleague Karishma Naidu. She's our circulations manager, and she's going to tell us a bit about what she does. Karishma, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Okay, I know you're very busy and I know you stick to your deadlines, so I'm going to start with the questions. What do you do and how does it go? Tell us.
Okay, so as you said, I am the circulation manager. It just basically entails, seeing oversight of the paper from the press once we print to the final delivery, either to subs or to our stores. And obviously, in the process, making sure that it gets there safely, on time, and then obviously just analyzing reports and data.
You've I'm sure you've been doing this for some time, and can you tell us a bit about this journey?
So yeah, I've been in circulation for 3 years now, but I'm with the Witness for 16 years. Um, it's definitely it's a lot of work. It's you get to learn new stuff every day. A lot of stress and pressure at times, but it's been a good journey.
Oh, great. In terms of reader data, what can you tell us about how influences your distribution?
Okay, so yeah, with the reader data, it's quite important because we get to know the sales and returns of the paper from stores. Also, our subscribers, how many subscribers we have, and that helps us to basically know our print orders for the next day, basically which stores sell, which stores don't sell, if we want to do new market penetration and move into new markets, we want to try new stores. So, yeah, it plays a vital role in different aspects of things.
Okay. Now, when it comes to distribution, I know that often at times, if the weather is bad, if there's roadblocks or due to accidents and flooding, it's quite a stressful time for you. How do you go about navigating this and ensuring that the paper gets to subscriptions and readers and stores on time?
Okay, so yeah, it is hectic, and we're always worried about weather and protesting and many different obstacles that can come in our way. But I think, as the Witness, we have a commitment to our subscribers to get them the paper on time, as well as stores. They require the paper before they open. So our duty is to get them there, and we take into consideration the fact that we print in Durban. So it takes the paper at least an hour to get down to PMB, and then we go inland as well, as the Witness distributes from Newcastle all the way to Matatiele. So there's also those time factors there. So it's quite important that we stick to very tight deadlines, and everything is followed timeously. And there's always, checking reports, traffics, weather, just to make sure if there's anything going wrong, then there's different routes, different plans made. We've got a wonderful support team that works throughout the night to make sure that everything is done and done timelessly.
I'm sure our readers appreciate all that you do to ensure that the paper is there the next morning ready with their tea or as they wake up. And thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today, Karishma. Thank you for watching this week's episode of The Witness TV.
Tune in next time, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.